All right, this is apparently like the essayed victims of the UK. Apparently, this video is they had 250,000 victims. 250,000. I mean, that's just disgusting. Why do they hide it? Because they want to win the votes. They want to have the positive narrative because, you know, they're winning over hearts and lives of people. They're helping those in need.
Just wanted to cover how the UK became completely conquered, as their law enforcement agencies have been compromised and weaponized against the citizens. But then the story naturally leads to the migrant rap gangs when the reports released yesterday from the
PG-13 edit. The rap gangs inquiry report. Yeah, I've been hearing people like making fun of the inquiry report because, oh, they just talk about this. They talk about this. People don't understand this. Like, the people running defense for the deplorable people who have done very heinous, violent acts towards women, primarily women, and the fact that there are even women running defense for these deplorable acts, going like, ha ha ha, look at these people, they're idiots, they don't seem to understand. Oh, this possibly can't fall under, you know, this type of, the whole thing's disgusting.
UK equivalent of US Congress. And a zero exaggeration, these are some of the most disturbing crimes against kids ever. But for years now, the mainstream media pass it off as conspiracy.
In a 2014 report, it was found that about 1,400 kids had been in gangs of men in the northern English town of Rotherham, beginning in 1997, lasting more than a decade. Today, Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, responded by suggesting that Musk was, quote, spreading lies and misinformation.
He's meddling and putting out misinformation and doing all kinds of things that he's done here and seeing if the same tricks work elsewhere. And I think he just likes it now. This is what amuses him. He's obviously not paying attention to Tesla.
Well, UK media deflects to white people.
Fine, 250,000 of your women are being by Muslims. It's okay.
Again,
it's fine.
Utterly ridiculous statement.
Go to Birmingham, go to Manchester.
Utterly ridiculous statement.
Go to Harvard.
The fact that people are running defense for this stuff, is just absolutely deplorable. Absolutely deplorable. I mean, how can you possibly hear that and go like, oh no, you can't be saying that. You can't be saying that. You can't be saying that, when it's just statistically accurate. Statistically accurate. I understand that you never want to blanket an entire group of people because, again, as soon as you start doing that, people will go up in arms against an entire group. The problem is when you literally have like these people running defense, not this guy, but like these people running defense for such deplorable acts. And when the layman person starts to see, why are these people being defensive towards these evil acts? These evil acts are evil. You shouldn't ever run defense for just deplorable evils. It's the fact that these people are running defense is what's getting everyone angry. And the problem is, it only escalates because when the layman sees that it's the perpetrators that are being defended and not the victims that are being protected, it radicalizes everybody. I'm not going to be surprised if like in 5 years, you literally have everyone going up in arms against their own politicians, literally targeting everyone of a different ethnicity that isn't white in the UK. Why? Because it's gone to such an extremism where it becomes racism. When the politicians and the people in charge and the news and everyone isn't there defending the people are going to take answers into their own hands. And the problem is they will not discriminate between good and evil. They will just discriminate against everyone that happens to be of the ethnicity or religion that have caused them the most problems, even though it isn't black and white. The problem is, if you start escalating everything, it becomes black and white to the common man. It becomes like just absolute racism. Like, look at Japan. There are people who have, like, there were Muslims who were living in Japan for decades, almost an entire century. And then you have these extremists move in, and now Japan wants to basically get rid of all Muslims and get rid of those who had lived there their entire lives peacefully, because they make such a they make it bad for everybody. They make it bad for everybody. And it's the fact that people aren't willing to denounce, and the layman see defense being run for these heinous organizations, these heinous people, instead of protecting the people, protecting the victims. UK is basically overseas Pakistani territory. Yeah. Check London, mayor, name, and origin. Yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely insane. Degenerate states.
I've said repeatedly, the vast majority of sexual crime against women in my country is committed by white men.
Where liberals think 250,000 girls being raped is funny.
The gang inquiry report is out. And I'm going to try not to laugh because it feels mean.
you know my little sister. You know my little niece. Yeah. A bunch of guys came by. They took her to the ground. They did whatever they wanted to her, destroyed her body entirely, scarred her for life. Isn't that hilarious? Isn't that funny? Just let that sink in. These people are laughing about that. These people are laughing about something incredibly disgusting. Something that even prisoners will, like in the US, someone who touches a child is put in protective custody in prison because they can't be put in the regular gen pop. Why? If as soon as the inmates find out what happened, they're getting shanked. They're getting shanked because this is something so deplorable. Even other prisoners know that children are off limits. And the fact that you have these people laughing at it as if it's like, these people are stupid. Why are they talking about kids? Why? That they can get a transgender whatever they want. Why would we bother protecting them? Ugh. It's times like this, you just need to remember Sean Connery's quote.
And their activists respond by claiming it's racist.
Disgust off our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. When migrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up.
As they
When migrants are under attack. What about the innocent civilians of the population? Who's going to protect them if not the people? Who's going to protect the natives if not the government? It's funny how these organizations always wave a flag for these other nations, pretending as if, oh, we're here for you. We're okay with you. You know what? You freaks, start offering your own family up to sacrifice, and don't let, like, if you believe so wholeheartedly about these monsters, offer up your own children, offer up your own nieces, your own nephews, your own goats, offer them up for slaughter instead of them roaming around. If you believe so wholeheartedly that their culture is easily acceptable in the West, if their barbaric ideologies are easily acceptable in the West, they're not. These people are so deplorable, they're kicked out of their own countries.
They recycle the same replies every single time. They refuse to take responsibility for the heinous crimes they enable. You're crazy for thinking that. Okay, well, white people are worse, until noticing this pattern makes you racist. Except this time we're not playing political games. We're talking about the rap of 250,000 kids, predominantly from one known group that the UK outright refuses to acknowledge, as the entire document is over 200 pages of the worst things you could read, because the authorities were worried about being perceived as racist, and in some instances actually assisted in the rap. And this is an incredible
Oh yeah, like they were sending kids back to the houses that were doing the acts to them because they didn't want a racial allegation put against the officers. Imagine the officers actually being in cahoots with putting you, or with keeping you. That right there is a fascist state where you're literally forced to live in the most insane type of environment imaginable, and you just have to suck up and take it. You see your family members getting picked up by roaming gangs, and you can't speak about it because there is no right to free speech, even in the UK. Like, that's one thing that a lot of people, you don't have the right to say whatever you want. You don't. They've never had that right. It was just more accepted. And then, yeah, after the Queen passed away, it just completely went out the window. Nobody's allowed to speak whatever they want. There's full authoritarian control over everything. The problem is people are now able the world is so small and they can post whatever they want. I mean, I'm surprised X is still available in the UK. They're pretty sure they're going to ban it soon because that's where everyone posts everything and it's too hard to censor it. And they have a very censored internet in the UK. I mean, heck, it's probably second to China. China has one of the most, controlled internets. The UK is trying to get to that route. They want to have full control, full autonomy over the information that comes out of the nation and all the information that goes into the nation. The UK is an internet police state. Yeah. Yeah. The people aren't free. They aren't free. I mean, heck, there have been comedians who have been jailed for their comments while they're flying over the ocean.
difficult read I don't recommend to anybody, but then again, this isn't fiction. These are years of rampant crimes against UK kids that not only did the authorities allow, but somehow UK taxpayers actually funded. And this is no exaggeration. Apparently, UK welfare services actually attended the wedding of a child bride, then gave her rapper's parents money. Then when another kid's parents tried to stop the rap, a cop said, "Don't call them Asian, that's racist. Be glad she's being taught a different culture." Taking the girl back to the rap house, telling them, "Have fun with her." And when another kid complained on Facebook about the rap, the UK police came to arrest her within half an hour. And I gotta be honest, I couldn't even get through half that full report. But now it makes sense that their media was so desperate to ignore this story, as if this gets out, I genuinely believe the British citizens will revolt, as obviously there have been zero mainstream stories on this, except the outlets reporting that Lowe, that UK equivalent of a congressman, is the most dangerous man you've never heard of. And when you Google him, the first...
Because he wants Britain to be a British nation. He wants the UK to focus primarily on the UK. He wants the Europe to be for Europeans. That includes Germany being for the Germans. That it's just like there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I would love to be able to travel to the UK at some point in time and don't want to be on the territory of Pakistan when I travel to the UK. I don't want to be in Pakistan when I travel to the UK. No, I want to be in the UK. It's insane how these people are starting to... they're welcoming in the invaders. It's like the Trojan horse. Have people learned nothing from history? They're literally welcoming in the horse as it's tearing down their walls. And they don't care because everyone inside the horse is voting for that politician that keeps the gates open. That's it. That's it. That's all they want. That's all they want. Cenk Yogurt, Turkish origin. Yeah. He's Turkish origin. So is Hassan Piker, I believe. He was born there and raised in the U.S. He was born there and raised in the U.S. These people don't... These people that come here refusing to acknowledge any other sort of law except their own isolated religious law or their own barbaric law from their other nation don't belong in a Western civilization or a modernized civilization if they don't understand that, those laws from that barbaric nation which you're seeking asylum from don't apply here. But for some reason, they're still able to do the same exact things, which honestly, they would be probably killed for in some of those other nations, freely able to do in the UK. Encouraged and sadly aided by the police.
Article is from another UK source saying white supremacists fund his party, and if it wasn't for social media sites like X, nobody would know about any of this, let alone their reports from their own government, as their prime minister now says he wants to protect the kids, but only by banning social media.
That is why today the government has decided to ban social media access for children under 16.
Which means all adults will need to verify social media usage with digital IDs and facial recognition, coincidentally also banning VPNs.
We have tried to move as quickly as possible on the main issue of the ban, so we get that big line in the sand, that big change, in place as quickly as possible. We'll make further statements in July about VPNs and additional restrictions.
You know why they want to control it? Why they don't want kids to have access to the media? Is because the kids are the new generation that are actually able to get enough education on social media. They're able to actually look and find the links to the actual reporting. The problem is the adults, like I'm lucky to be in the middle. Like, honestly, people in their 20s, people in their early 30s are still capable of that. The problem is a lot of people don't do the research themselves, or they join the workforce, and kids, they have the time to surf the web and actually get the information. The parents don't have that time. All they could do is turn on the news in the background and hear what the news is telling them. They don't have the time or the energy, or the elderly, the ones who are retired and do have the time, they don't have the know-how to go through all that, follow all the links to make sure what they're actually reading is accurate, or just flat out lie. Like, that's one of the issues. They want to control it because the following generation of the UK, they want to make sure that they don't have a voice. They don't know what's actually going on. They want to pigeonhole all the information. They funnel all the information so that way they only hear one source and not the entire spigot. They don't get the entire bucket full. They just get a small little drip of information, because they're going to ban basically people from actually doing research themselves.
Because I think the bottom line is this, like 9 out of 10 parents who responded to our consultation want a ban. They are crying out for help. They feel every day with their children, they're faced by this tidal wave of stuff their kids are seeing. They can't keep on top of all the parental controls. They're worried about the impact on their kids' sleep, their anxiety, their concentration, and the risks of what they're...
Yeah, the kids should be scared. The kids are starting to learn that other kids are being targeted, especially young girls, by these roaming migrant gangs. And guess what? That gets those kids afraid of other migrants there. Of sadly, anyone of a different ethnicity in their classrooms are going to get targeted, are going to get bullied. Again, there's nothing wrong with this, because when that escalates, when you start seeing an Indian boy getting beaten up in a school in the UK because of his skin tone, even though he's probably a third, fourth generation Briton, that's when it's going to escalate and get to a boiling point. Like, yeah, this has gone too far. The government wants to make sure all that remains completely contained. The UK is going to destroy itself. It's going to completely destroy itself. It's going like New York. New York is going to destroy itself. The UK is going a full nationwide explosion. A full nationwide explosion. It's just going to be awful. It's going to be awful when it happens.
seeing online. So we've made that big decision.
See how they sold the social media ban by saying it's to protect the kids, when it really just polices online anonymity, where the UK already arrests more people for social media posts than even China, but more importantly, releases the free flow of information back onto the mainstream media.
Well, we got to be honest. If we actually look at the algorithm, like, the thing is, how much do we actually... China knows how to control information. Like, let's be honest. They know how to control information. Their arrests for social media posts could probably be in the millions, and we wouldn't know. So let's just take that with a grain of salt. But the fact that it's the top just is insane. Is insane. No freedoms. No freedoms.
posts than even China. But more importantly, releases the free flow of information back onto the mainstream media. Then they can just resume laughing off the rumors of migrant rap gangs happily delivering victims to abusers and cutting their family a taxpayer-funded check. As the UK was already at a breaking point when that newcomer attempted to behead a citizen on camera, and the media and police seemingly only lashed out on the protests. As this was supposed to be the original story, UK law enforcement seemingly being against the average citizen, to which even Elon Musk acknowledges, no one can save you when they become the police. Which brings us to the US seeing similar instances of foreigners becoming law enforcement, saying in another language that they represent their home country.
Any statistics from China is as trustworthy as Netanyahu peace proposals. Yeah. You can't.
Even mayors in major US cities
Deport him. We don't need this person who's destroying our nation. I always say it. He's finishing what started on 9/11. He's literally a plant finishing what started on 9/11. It's funny how everyone was talking about never forget. Everyone's forgotten. Everyone has forgotten.
putting out official messaging in another language, warning that the city is about to fall into third world violence. And this could be considered conjecture, speculation that this might snowball into our own migrant rap gangs on US soil. But let's just go to something that we already know about. As back when President Biden botched the withdrawal of Afghanistan, we thought we were assisting families evacuating, only to realize they weren't related. These grown adults admitted they had child brides, with the kids even reporting being raped. But the Biden administration said they take it seriously, but it's just difficult to prove, especially during the crush of evacuees, where I can't find anywhere reports of arrests regarding this. Of course, when you bulldoze your borders completely open, you'll be overwhelmed and unable to verify the difference between families and trafficking. The horrifying reality being, this was always part of their plan, allowing max immigration from places that legalize atrocities, then claiming it isn't happening and saying anybody that notices it is racist. And I'm just talking about the evacuation of Kabul, but every single aspect also applies to the migrant rap report, which makes me believe if it was happening here, the left would be doing the same exact thing, and the feminists again would be completely silent. This was an incredibly heavy topic, as the stories I shared were incredibly infuriating, but those weren't even the worst or most gruesome reports, and I don't want to plug in.
Yeah, like some of the things in that inquiry is just absolutely barbaric. Absolutely barbaric. And the fact that people are running defense. People are running absolute defense is probably one of the most deplorable things to actually witness. You literally have this massive problem. And for some reason, we've gotten to a point where rich people eating babies, bad. But uneducated migrants defiling children, that's okay. How can you be okay or not okay with rich people eating migrants, or rich people eating migrants, rich people eating babies? You're not okay with that, but you're a-okay with like roaming gangs of barbarians taking advantage of your children. Essaying your children. How could you be okay with it? It makes no sense. It's not their culture. It's rich people's culture to eat babies. You can use the same exact argument. My wife said that it's their culture. It's the barbarians' culture to, club a kid and take advantage of them. Like that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any freaking sense. It's deplorable. It has no place in Western culture. How is it getting to the point where this is being encouraged? Well, and completely protected. Completely protected. Animals belong behind bars. Monsters belong 6 feet underground. That's simple. It's that simple. That's basic logic. It's basic logic. I don't understand how we're at this point. It makes no gosh dang sense to me. It makes no gosh dang sense to me. Zoran sent a letter to India extremists in jail who wants to separate Kashmir. Of course he did. Don't you dare say anything to my boy Zoran, because he eats with his hands. So, everyone has eaten with their hands at one point in life. Everyone has eaten with their hands at one point in life. But yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, it makes no sense how these people will cry and scream about billionaires who apparently it's their right, since they're incredibly rich and have all the power to eat. It's their right. By the same logic, it's their right. They don't know, they can do whatever they want. Yet migrants, they can do whatever they want because they're migrants. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. It was like, then why the heck are they in their country? Why are they in a civilized society? Why is the civilized society accepting of these barbarians? The civilized society shouldn't accept rich people eating children, and they shouldn't accept migrants or monsters taking advantage of kids. Same. Oh my gosh. It's aggravating. It's aggravating.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait on that.